Awakened Radio is brought to you by www.thebarefootguru.com. Visit thebarefootguru.com today for handcrafted necklaces, stones, crystals, hair feathers, primitive medicine dream catchers, smudge kits, medicine bags, all sorts of spiritual aids which will help you to stay focused and creating on purpose. You'll also find a journey back to self and how to thrive in a survival mindset world. Signed copies by the author, Donna Devane. All of this is at www.thebarefootguru.com. All purchases of all items found at thebarefootguru.com support Awakened Radio and help us to grow, to enhance your experience, and to reach more people with the message that together we can do more than survive. We can thrive. We have purple, passionate people power at this radio station, and we carry that energy through to our station, advertiser, and sponsor, www.thebarefootguru.com. Check it out today. Thank you so much. Walk in peace.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Be Kind to Yourself. Listen to your heart. This is Pernilla Lilla Rose, and I'm so happy to be here on my second show with you today. And I keep looking forward to getting to know you better, and hopefully we can start communicating at some point. As far as I know, you can just go to the chat room and put in questions there during the show, and Donna knows how to do that. And also, you can also add the Awakened Radio to your Skype contacts and send in a message that way. But today, I would like to talk specifically about being a woman in this world today. Last week I talked a little bit about how the world is changing and how there's these new energies coming in that we're all trying to adjust to, and we're trying to learn the language of this new energy. And I know a lot of us are struggling because it's a new language. We don't know all the words and the terms and the ways yet, and we're all learning. And for me, a lot of it is really diving deep into my body. It's in my body that I learn the language of the new energies and of the new world. It's not a language that is spoken from the mind. We can certainly use the mind. I'm not against the mind, but there is a lot more to us than our minds. If you are a woman and you are here today because you know you are not in full alignment with what is true for you, you are in the right place. If you're a man and you're here because you know you're not in full alignment with what is true for you, you're in the right place. And if you're emotionally upset and don't quite know how to be with your emotions, how to be with the changes that are going on inside and out, you are in the right place. And if you're simply here because you want to live more in resonance with who you are, with you, with your core values, and with your heart's desire, well, guess what? You are in the right place. And the right place is one thing to be here listening on the show, but the really right place is to be inside of yourself, learning the new language, learning the new energies, and learning how to move with that in the world. I love to work with men and women to help you get in touch with that part inside of yourself. For some reason, Donna, are you here?
Yes, what is that? Clunk,
clunk. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a message. I wasn't sure what that meant.
Oh, it wasn't me. I don't know. I didn't do it.
Oh, good. I was thinking, am I not on or what? I'm sorry with that little techie problem we had. Oh, good. Great. We keep rocking then. So since I am a woman myself, I have learned. I have learned and I'm learning how to move in the world with these energies. And I can't speak specifically how it is for a man. That's why I want to address it more today to the women. But for any of the men who are here, please don't take that personally, because it is just as much for you. It is not really the personal female energies. It's a universal energy that we're all tapping into. And it's not really gender-based. It is simply a new way of being that we have suppressed for so long, and that we are slowly beginning to get in touch with again. For some reason, at least in the circles that I go to, there's always a lot more women. And I see that in so many women, there is something inside that wants to be born, that wants to start creating a new world based on love, on very, very different values, something that is supporting everybody, that's supporting the whole. As long as we are not in touch with that wholeness, with that love inside of ourselves, it's very hard to bring it forth into the world. And since I want to just stay a little bit with being a woman, because I have been going through this so much myself most of my life, is that we as women, we tend to leave our own truth in favor for an outer authority. Many years ago, when I was spending some time with a teacher from Australia, his name is Barry Long. Well, he actually passed away many years ago. He was a spiritual teacher, and he really addressed very much about this female energy and was very, very supportive in helping women get in touch with that and not sell themselves short or leave themselves or compromise specifically in intimate relationships. But it goes all across the board. It's really any kind of relationship that we enter. And we have had so what Barry Long said was that this world is not made for women. He says it is made by man and for man, and it's made by male rules. And those ways of being are not natural for women. So I definitely agreed with a lot of what he said, and it sounded a little judgmental in the beginning because I had never heard it before. So it was a new concept, and I was still quite identified with living according to those rules in the world. And even though it didn't feel natural to me, I had to suppress what was natural to me because it wasn't fully accepted in the world. And so this is many years ago that I heard that the first time, and it's really taking many years to let that sink into my system and start understanding the truth of that, not to judge or make anybody wrong for it. On the contrary, actually, it's really finding out, well, what is true here? What is true for me and for everybody else who has been living the way I had, by leaving myself and thinking I should live according to how the rules of the world were set up. And when you start like that, it's very challenging, because it feels like you're one little drop of water going against the whole tsunami of a different opposing energy. So it takes a lot of courage to take that first step, especially if you are alone. You might be feeling alone in what you already know is true inside. And you may not have the right support around you yet to start feeling into what it actually is that is more true to you than the way you are living right now. And if you would step up and stand out and say something about it, you might not get the feedback and the acknowledgement and the understanding that you need in order to really step up and start embodying it. And I know for a lot of us in the beginning, it can be very difficult to even get in touch with what it is that is our truth, because we are so used to suppressing and ignoring it, trying to fit in to what other people say, to the rules that other people have made. And that's why it does take courage. And you may know the word courage. In French, cœur means heart. And when we really go to our heart, it takes courage to start trusting our heart. It basically takes heart to trusting our heart, because the truth that we know is found deep inside our heart. And I feel such a passion to helping people get in touch with that and start trusting that, start living it, start bringing it forth in the world where it really is so needed. So if any of you on this call or on this show today is feeling something in your heart that feels like something new is taking birth or wants to take birth, but you are not supported by it yet, just stay tuned to what we're doing here on this show. Because really what I would like to do also is invite women and men to join us here so we can start feeling the truth, the new truth that's wanting to wake up in all of us, and support each other. Hear other people, hear other women, hear other men speak about the same thing that is waking up inside. And so you can actually do it in a place where there is a supportive environment for that. And I think that is immensely important. When I started this out many years ago, I felt very alone with it at times. And that's why I held it back and I kept trying to fit in. I have always been a little bit of a rebel, but I still felt like I needed to fit in order to survive, be loved, be liked, fit in and all that. So I would go my own way and, people would say, they would say things about me that might not be flattering or supportive. And it would always make me doubt myself and start wondering, am I really doing the right thing? Is this really true? And how would I know if it's true if everybody around me says it's not? I don't want you to have to go through that same doubt if you are experiencing that. I want to see if we can create a place where we can actually support that place in our hearts and bring it forth in a way so it feels safe and strong and empowered. Not as an empowerment over anything or anybody, but more as a power coming from a place inside of truth that is supportive for everybody. We can start building a community here on this show, on this amazing radio show that Donna is hosting, and Donna is really creating a space for that, and I know that you also, Donna, are already working with that principle, the female principle yourself. So I really want to bring my energy to that, and I want to invite as many of you to bring yourself to the call and listen and bring in your questions if you need support in trusting something that you may not be strong enough to step forward with. I just came back from a 3-day weekend with 80 women. It was a weekend here in Santa Cruz, which is where I'm from, in California. And I know we're a little ahead of the gang, I think, many times in California, and especially in Santa Cruz, where we really are living this more and more and more as a natural way of being. But to be with these 80 women was just so inspiring. And I experience that over and over again when I get in these circles or these communities with women who are in touch with this inside of them. And they want to bring it out into the world, but they don't quite know how to do it. We still need the support from each other. We still need to be together. And more than anything, we need to do this together. This is so important. We can only do this. And by this, I mean make a difference in the world. Start changing areas that so desperately need our love, our wisdom, our support, our presence. And it can only be done when we do this together. So instead of working separately and thinking we all need to do it on our own, we need to figure it out on our own, we need to learn it so we can do it, right? So we can stay in our self-reliant energy. Because we are afraid to ask for help. We still have many beliefs that we're supposed to do it on our own. I have had that a lot. I can still feel the tendency a little bit here and there, but it's almost like just a little wimpy energy that doesn't really, doesn't pull me in anymore. But we all need to make this change together. And part of the change that we are actually entering into is that we are working together as one, where we support each other, we love each other, we acknowledge each other. We can certainly help correct each other if it feels like we're going in a wrong direction, meaning in a wrong direction away from ourselves. So we can help each other come back in and say, no, trust your heart. Trust the wisdom that you're trying to bring out here. Just stay with that. We can create a space for each other to bring that forth. It's like giving birth to the true being that we are. We all have so many layers that we need to move through. There are so many contractions, and if we are going to look at a real birth, giving birth to ourselves, we do need to move through a lot of contractions. It's funny, I've never thought of it that way as I do right now. But that's kind of what's fun, when you tap in to your own being and your own essence, you'll start hearing yourself say things that you go, oh, that was great. That was a good idea. And you know that it wasn't your mind that came up with it. It's something that comes just naturally from the heart. So when we're starting to give birth to ourselves, we are going to meet the resistances that we have covered ourselves with to stay safe. And these are like contractions. A resistance is a contraction. And when we give birth, the contractions, they certainly help giving birth to the child. I'm not a mother, so I cannot relate to it personally as giving birth to a child, but I can certainly I can relate to it in giving birth to myself. And the contractions have been good because in a way they have forced me to go in and find a place of power in my heart that was able to push through these contractions that would prefer me to stay inside where it's safe, right? Safe in the womb inside. But the truth is, it's not really safe in there. It seems like it's safe if we compare it to what's going on in the outside. But the only safety is really experienced when we are truly at one with who we are and how we express that. When we are not in full alignment and oneness with that, we are living in duality, and that's where it's not safe. Because then there is this and that. Then there is me and the way I express myself. And that is not safe. So we need to close the gap between who we are and how we express ourselves. And that can only happen when we find out who we really are. And that's when we start being true to who we really are and start listening and start paying attention to what matters to us, to what is natural to us, right? What makes us feel alive? What makes us happy? It's very good to know what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel expanded, because then you're getting in touch with your heart. When you feel contracted, there's a very good chance that you're in touch with your mind and trying to stay safe. So when we start going into the body, where I like to start is to find out, what does a yes feel like? And what does a no feel like? This may sound very basic, and it is. We need to start at the very, very basics. And so I want to invite you for the next few minutes. We're almost going to take a little break. So just before the break and during the break, why don't you take a moment and just check in with yourself and think of something that you would say yes to, something you like, and then feel how that is experienced in your body. So what does a yes feel like? Where in your body do you go to know if you want to say yes or no? And the same with your no. If there's something you don't want, what does that feel like? Okay, so take a moment while we're going on a break and just let yourself feel into what a yes and what a no feels like in your specific body.
Hello, I'm Donna Devane, station owner at AwakenedRadio.net, and I do want to thank you so much for your support, for taking time to visit our website, for listening to our many delightful and informative and inspirational hosts at Awakened Radio. I also want to thank you so much for taking time to share with your social media networks the link to our website and tell your friends to come hang out with us at Awakened Radio. If you'd like to host the show, you can find out how to do that at awakenedradio.net. If you'd like to be a guest, or you know someone who'd make a great guest, well, come to awakenedradio.net. You will find a page filled with information on how to connect with me and let me know how you'd like to interact with our station. I want to remind you our station is listener supported. This means you're helping us get the word out, you're helping us promote it, and you're helping us to pay the bills by clicking and shopping with our advertisers, by visiting barefootguru.com, by shopping on Donna Devane on Amazon and checking out some of her great books, and also buy a cup of coffee. If you like what you hear here, you like what we're doing as a radio show, come on, pay it forward. Help us reach more people with the message that humanity is waking up, that we can make changes that are better for everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for your support. Most of all, thank you for your love. You're live.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. So I'm curious how that was for you to just check in with yourself, what a yes and what a no feels like. Donna, let me just check with you. If people would like to call in or Skype in or chat in, how do they do that in case they would like to share something or have a question?
Okie dokie. If you'd like to call in, add Awakened Radio to your Skype contact or write this down. You can use your phone and dial 334-649-7204. And if you'll join Pernilla at the chat room over at awakenedradio.net, you'll see the chat at the top, the link for it. That information is always under the chat box.
Great. Thank you so much. And then you'll let me know if there's any questions or comments.
I will pass them on to you by copying and pasting into your Skype box.
Perfect. Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
So what we're going to talk about right now is basically how to give birth to what a yes feels like and what a no feels like. If you're anything like me, you have probably been suppressing your yeses and your nos in favor of other people's yeses and nos. And it's not something we just do overnight, is it? We don't just suddenly wake up next morning and then we are just completely true to ourselves. I wish we could. I wish I had a magic wand, but that may not be the wish for the evolution of the way the energy is unfolding right now. It seems to be a step-by-step process. And it's actually a very enjoyable process when you start realizing that that's what's going on. A very important part to this is to learn to slow down. The world is going at lightning speed, and if we try to say yes to the speed of the world, it's too easy to miss what our bodies are really trying to tell us. I wrote a book called Imagine Being Kind to Yourself, and if you're interested in learning more about that book or anything else I do, please go to my website. It's LillaRose.com, spelled LILLAROSE, LillaRose.com. And in this book, you can order the book from my website. And in this book, in one of the first chapters, I write about the naturalness, the naturalness inside of us. What is it that feels natural, but we are not listening to it? What we do instead is listen to what is normal. And normal is what the norm does, is what other people do, what society does, the world. But the way the world is today, the norm is very much out of sync with what's natural. So if we keep saying no to what's natural to us and say yes instead to what the norm says, we're leaving ourselves. We are living in duality. We are basically at war inside of ourselves because we are not moving with our own energies, with our own naturalness. And that's why learning to find out what is natural for you is another very important step. I have some exercises in my book too. Actually, the whole book, at the end of each chapter, I have some exercises that you can do that will help make this journey a lot easier for you. Very simple, very basic steps. Unfortunately, most people have not taken those steps, and because they keep living from the norm, trying to fit in. And I really want to invite you to start to listen to what's natural to you. So after this call today, if you want to, purchase the book, you can do the exercises there. And if you don't want to do that yet, you can just start writing a list of the things that are natural to you. For instance, what pace is natural to you? Are you trying to fit into everybody else's pace and you ignore maybe your pace, which is much, much slower? And I'm actually, this has been one of mine too. I have learned to slow down a lot so I can get in sync inside with my own energy, with my own pace. And it feels so good because there is a resonance, there's a harmony inside then. But if I keep trying to fit into somebody else's pace, and that could be anything. It could be in a relationship. It could be at work. It can be so many things where you are not in sync with your own pace and your own truth. And you keep living a divided life. And truthfully, nobody is ever going to be happy or fulfilled by living a divided life. So today, as I specifically wanted to address the female energies, when a woman slows down enough, it's funny that I say that because it's the slowing down that is so difficult for everyone. So this is my invitation to you for this week. To stop once in a while and slow down. Slow down enough so you can at least listen and see if what you're doing, are you really in your truth? Is this really right for you? Would you rather just sit down in nature and just breathe the air, the bird songs, and just take in nature because that's natural in that moment? Or you're just rushing around trying to please everybody and trying to do what everybody else wants and completely ignoring your own naturalness. When a woman gets in touch with her own naturalness, Many, many, many of us, not everybody. This is not I don't want to generalize, but there seems to be a tendency that we do things at a different pace, and it has not been honored. Our pace has not been honored in the world, and that's why it's hard for us to go back and take ownership of that again. And again, that's why I want to create a place here where you can start feeling the naturalness of what you actually want. That it's okay, it's natural, it's how it's meant to be when you listen to your heart. When we start giving birth to ourselves as women, and please men, of course this is the same for you, but it may have a different flavor for you, so you just need to find, it's still finding your own pace too, but with your own flavor that may be a little different than the way I'm describing it right now. It's like, can you become your own midwife to give birth to yourself by starting to allow yourself to pay attention to when you feel a yes, but you actually say no, or you feel a no and you say yes instead. Before you can start really expressing it, there might just be a natural time where you just give yourself permission to feel it and just to notice it so that you can start trusting it. It's not a matter of, I'm going to say no now because I don't want it, because you still need to be present with your situation in life that may have built itself around you not being fully in tune with yourself. So be very, very gentle and very kind to yourself as you're starting to learn what a yes feels like and what a no feels like. And then start expressing that in an environment where it feels safe and supported. If you have some friends, you can start practicing with them. I actually did that many years ago. I would be with some of my friends that I knew I would be safe with, where I could simply say, it doesn't feel right to me what you're saying right now. Just as a place to start expressing something that was new to me and know that I would be received in that. That is what I see happening more and more with these women's circles that I have been joining and enjoying, that there is just, we create a space for each other, for something to unfold and something to take birth that we can't quite do on our own. We need each other, and it's great to help each other and support each other. There's something that really comes alive, and the way I'm seeing it too is that is actually how we are beginning to live it in the world. So this way of supporting and helping and loving each other is eventually going to start penetrating all the areas in the world where it's not happening yet. But we need to start living it inside first, then sharing it with those that it feels safe with. And then little by little we can start expanding so that we actually keep following our own pace. Because it's not about trying to burst through something that may not be fully natural to you yet, right? You need to build up that muscle to start trusting that which feels natural. And that you do by learning your own pace. So it's a very internal process to find out how to do that. And then it eventually can become more of an outside process to start living it. We do not need to fit in the world that is not natural to us. We do need to fit in to our own essence and our own beingness, our own heart. and start trusting how that wants to express itself. It's a wonderful journey. It's such a wonderful journey, and I'm speaking from my own experience now, to really start embodying yourself and become fully one with yourself in a way that you may not have experienced before. The more I sink into my own beingness, and it's of course the beingness that I already am, that we already are. It is such a delicious feeling, because who we are is really what we're trying to find out in the world. And we're never going to find it out there if we keep saying yes when we really mean no. We are leaving this delicious place of our essence inside. And this place right inside of us, in each one of us, there is nobody who doesn't have that, because it is who we are. That is the place that will give us true fulfillment, true happiness, true contentment, true love. And then when we walk out into the world from a place of fullness, then we can give to the world. We can share that with the world. We don't go out there to get it. No, we go inside, we listen to what is true for us, we get in alignment with our own essence, and then we can actually become outlets for it in the world. So instead of wanting to get something out there in the world, we bring it there. We bring to the world what we think we want from the world. You can never get it out there. You can only get it as a permanent experience by being it and bringing it there. Or sometimes I say by being it and beaming it. It's an energy we bring to the world, because the world is really our own expression. So we choose how we want the world to be by being it first and then beaming it consciously. So let's all take a deep breath together. Just as a reminder to slow down and just be. Start out just being aware of what is really true for you, what really matters to you. When I decided to do these radio shows, which is completely new to me, I had to think about, well, what is it really that I want to bring to this show? What is it really that I want to be and beam and share? And when I look deep in my heart, what I really want to share is the beingness. It's an energy, it's a presence. It's not something that I can find out in the world. It's not something you can buy in a store or anything like that. It's the beingness. It's the being at one with myself. That energy in itself has a resonance that people can feel, and it affects people. So when you do a radio show, it seems like you have to say a lot, right? Because people listen in order to hear information or learn something, and more so now than before is to actually have a transformation. The information age, I think, is getting a little outdated, and I've heard many people talk about that transformation is really what we're all looking for. And in my experience, the true transformation is realizing who we are at the core and allowing that to be. So I would actually like to bring a lot of just beingness and silence and slowing down to what I bring to the world. And because most people are so caught up in the busyness of the world, it's very, very hard. We're being bombarded with so many things. There's emails and cell phones and iPods and iPads, and I mean it's ongoing. And I'm certainly caught up in it too. There's always these emails and Facebook things to catch up on, and it keeps us busy and it keeps us moving at a pace that is not natural for us. So when I share these things, the emphasis that I really would like to bring is that we can slow down, consistently slow down, and take a breath. And I want to invite you just right now to notice if that feels like, come on, let's get going. We can't just sit here and slow down. Just notice what your mind is telling you, and see if that's really natural for you, or if you are caught in what is normal in the world, where we have to be busy all the time, we have to learn things, do things, improve things, have more, do more. And is that really the truth for you? Is that really what makes you happy? Is that really where you find your fulfillment? Or is it because you're caught up in something that you may not even know that you're caught up in because everybody else is doing it? I know that from when you go to a website today, I've heard that if you don't get people's attention within the first 6 seconds, I believe it is, then you move on to the next. It's like, okay, I need to know right away, what's the point? What is it that you're trying to tell me? And if I can't see it within 6 seconds, I'm on to the next one. So there is something that we want things so fast. Our brains are so wired and conditioned to move way, way, way faster than who we are and what's natural, that it can be very challenging to stop and pause and take a breath. Let's take a breath again. It's so nice just to pause and take a breath. And just feel what is here. What is here for you right now? What is important to you right now? If you pause even more and take another breath, slow down. What really, really matters to you? If you could make one change, one little change in your life, to do something that would matter to you, in case you're caught up in a lot of things that actually don't matter to you, could you slow down long enough to feel inside of yourself what that would be? And it's very interesting as I'm sharing this with you, that I even feel inside a pressure that, nobody wants to hear that. People really want more information and they want more something, blah, blah, blah. I can feel that pressure. It's like a universal or a global pressure that we're all affected by. So I'm not immune to that. I can feel it, but I'm not answering to it. I'm still giving myself permission to move and say by what is true inside, my own essence and my own energy. And that's what I would like to invite you to do too. And then I know that when I'm being fully true to myself, then I will also meet people who resonate with that and who want that too. Because we cannot force anything upon anybody. What we can do is be true to ourselves. And I guarantee you, there are many other people who feel like you do, who want the same. But they may be afraid to say it out of fear that, well, maybe nobody wants it then. Maybe I'm going to be all on my own. So let's take another breath. Take a deep, deep belly breath. Allow your belly to fill up and let it become soft and round and yummy. Give yourself permission to slow down a little bit so you don't have to leave yourself. Yeah. Just allow yourself to be you. That's really all that's required. But that can be a lifelong task if we have turned too far away from ourselves. So we're almost at the end of the show today. And before we end, I just want to invite those of you who are in resonance with this message. If you would like to know more about it, please go to my website at lillarose.com, LILLAROSE.com, lillarose.com. And I do work with people privately. If you are interested, I have a page on my website where I offer a 30-minute free discovery session. And this discovery session is meant to help you see where you are right now, where you want to go, and what is actually getting in your way to experience and express and live the life that you really are longing for somewhere inside of you. And then in these 30 minutes, we will find out if the way that I work, the way what I can offer you, my expertise and enjoy in this work would be a good match. So please visit my website and see if you resonate with that, and then just sign up for one of those free discovery sessions if you want to learn more about it. All right, everyone. It's been lovely to be here with you all, and I look forward to being here with you again next week. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
You are listening to Awakened Radio at awakenedradio.net. I'm Donna Devane, station owner, and I'd like to thank you for your time, your love, and your support. Your listening and helping us get the word out is what keeps us on the air and helps us to grow. And if you'd like another way to invest in Awakened Radio, click the donate button or the love gift button on some of the pages. Make a donation using PayPal, debit, or credit card. And we got something special to give back to you each time. Every time you donate $1, your email address is entered into a drawing the last day of the month, and the winner is announced through email and on the air the first day of the month. So come on, give something back, help us grow. We give you several opportunities to help us get the word out to the world.